Sweet Scarlet Baking. Let's decorate cookies together. Today we're going to decorate these St. Patrick's Day cookies with royal icing. Let's start with the white. Now these bags have a seam on them. The best way to cut the opening for your bag is to find the seam, flatten it on the top in the center, and make a very small cut. Your cut on these bags will really help you to make some beautiful designs. So you want a really tiny cut on your bag. Think small, think even smaller than that. I'm just gonna cut a small amount. You can always make the hole bigger, but if you make it too big, you can't make it smaller again. So I like to use a paper towel when I decorate my cookies, because one way to get your icing nice and smooth is to shake your cookie or tap the bottom. And I don't want to touch the edges of my cookie that I just made look so nice. So I put it on a paper towel and then I can gently shake it like this. So I'm going to start with the white and just put some clouds on my rainbow. With light pressure, I'm going to follow the outline of the cookie all the way around. And then I'm just going to make my own scallops here. And then with the same small opening, just with more pressure, I'm going to fill in all the way around. You have to work a little more quickly with royal icing because as soon as the icing comes out of your piping bag and starts to hit the air, it will crust over. So we work a little faster, get all the icing on, and we could give it a little shake. And if we need to, we can use a toothpick to help us with our design. Maybe I'll add a little more icing here to my cloud. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to set this aside to dry. Even though I said that royal icing dries fast, it also takes a long time to dry, which I know I just said something that's opposite, but for royal icing to get the nice hard finish that we love, it can take 8 hours to overnight. But we want to give at least 20 minutes between each section that we're doing so that colors don't bleed together. So we're going to do the orange on the mustache. So again, to open this bag, find the seam and flatten it on the top and cut a very small opening. And then I'm just going to outline the whole mustache and then fill it in. Do some detail lines on this cookie. I need to let it dry for a little while. If I try to do some top piping right now, it'll just sink right into this bottom layer. So I'm going to set this one aside to dry for a little bit. Next cookie is the clover. I'm going to do a wet on wet technique with this cookie where I ice the whole thing green and then I want to add some white polka dots. So I do that right away while the green is still wet so that the polka dots sink down into the green. So open your green bag, find the seam, flatten it on the top, make a very small cut, and then I'm going to outline and fill the entire cookie with the green. spots while the icing is still wet. And those should sink right down in. If they don't, you can just give them a little poke. I'd like to add a border to this cookie to make the edges a little crisp, but first I need to let this dry so that my border will stand out. So I'm going to set this one aside. Okay, so now would be a good time to pause the video and let our cookies dry, or since we have a dozen cookies to make, you can go on and work on the rest of your cookies right now while your first set is drying. Alright, so I've let my cookies dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and do next steps on the rainbow. I'm gonna go ahead and do yellow in the center. So I haven't opened my yellow bag yet. So I'm gonna find the seam, flatten it in the top, in the center, and cut a small opening. Alright, so I'm going to make the yellow my center stripe. To me it looks like maybe this bottom one is too big, so I'm going to make my yellow a little thicker. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill that part in. For a little bit. I'm going to come back to the mustache and I'm going to draw just some detailed lines that make it look like some hair. I'm going to start just by drawing one line down the center and then some wavy lines that follow the form of the mustache. Alright, so there is our nice mustache cookie. So I want to do some outlining on my clover. I want to do a little bit of a swirl, so when I get to certain sections, I'm going to turn my cookie to help me out. So I'm just going to outline the stem. I'm going to turn it a little and do the first petal, if you will. I'm going to make a little swirl right here and stop. And turn it again to help me. Connect it here, make a swirl in the center, and stop. Last petal, connect it. Once I get to the center, make a swirl, and connect at the stem. Alright, so just a cute little outline. This maybe needs a little help right here. There we go. Alright, so that cookie is also done. I'm going to come back to the rainbow and add my other two colors. I'm going to do the orange on the top. And I'm going to do the green on the bottom. a little more crisp. You can give those a little outline, kind of like we did on the clover. And this one's done. So there you have it. Here are our royal icing St. Patrick's Day cookies. I hope that you enjoyed decorating these with me. For more inspiration, check out my buttercream cookie decorating video.